Yeah.
I will catch
Can you talk
up.
about the difference about, you were mentioning about disseminating the news and gathering the news and how there's a difference in that and what this law would do?
Well, I think that's one of the things that was brought up as an objection by someone in terms of journalistic necessities with what is allowed and what's not allowed, and that we might be getting in the way by doing something. I think today there was a line, the beginnings of a very clear line, that it's a very different situation, or that's where we're coming from, in terms of journalistic things that need to be allowed and journalistic things which should be prohibited in terms of privacy. And that was a joy to see that was, I think, made very clear today.
What do you think, Mr. Tyler?
I just, you know, constantly, being filmed is one thing that the personalities get. It's part of our deal, and half of which got us here. But when they're shooting in the windows of our house and getting our kids at Christmas and on the lawn and so forth, and writing captions that aren't true. Funny, yeah, okay. But it sure breaks my privacy rules, and it gets in the way of my life. And so I would like to, invite Hawaii to look at what's in place in LA, where I have a house as well. The problem doesn't exist there, and we just want them to take a look at it here.
So describe for me, if you can, a situation in which you think photos taken would not be an invasion of your privacy, and then walk me through a secondary situation in which you guys would be opposed to, which this particular bill would protect you.
Obviously, in public places, it's okay. I mean, public is public. It's America. America's free. But when I go on my lawn at home and close the door and go in the bathroom and brush my teeth and choose to keep the window open, and they got a shot of me doing that, and then they put some caption under it, that's not fair. That's all.
Can you talk about the photo that was the catalyst for this? Can you give me more details?
There's been many. Has it ruined my career? No. But, I just feel as though, my freedom is to do what I want at home is compromised by them needing footage and selling it for money. I have no private life. So I come to Maui to feel the mana, it's the sunshine, the whales cabin, it's what I love. I love diving, but to be shot constantly, you only have to live it. You wouldn't be asking me that question.
Mr. Fleetwood, you talked about the aloha spirit and what it means to be a visitor who loves Hawaii as much as the natives who live here. What is it then that you would like to say about how this bill would better support your lifestyle here?
Well, I think the lifestyle here of people who live here, this is my home, and I'm learning about the aloha that exists on these islands. And sometimes people think it sounds corny to say that, but it's not. And this is a typical example of something that's going to perpetuate that and really have this place be a home, and have someone like Stephen who's just really getting used to being here on these islands and is already starting to be sort of frightened in a way of being here, which is so not what these islands are about. And that's why this bill, I think, is going to really do something. It's for everybody. It's not just, as Stephen was saying, we want to know it's not just for the celebrity situation. It's for everyone to get a sense it's just not right to be doing that. And the community itself of Hawaii should be aware of that. And that's what we're really happy to be bringing to people's attention.
How long have you lived here in Hawaii?
I've lived here actively now for 10 years. And I've been coming here since 1973.
And have you had a situation where someone got into your space where you thought was just...
Well, I think the point taken, as I mentioned upstairs, I've actually had hundreds of them. And I've sort of got immune to it to some extent. And the situation, which is like Stephen's bill being introduced, the Tyler bill, it has actually reminded me of how incorrect that is, that you should take a stand and be involved, hence my support with Stephen here. I think it's just not correct, and I've had many of them, and some of them really affect you, maybe not even publicly so-called, but you have to, like Stephen was mentioning, a family situation where you have to start explaining things to your family, things that just aren't even true. It's really an intrusion, and it's rude, and it needs to stop, and that's what we're happy to be here representing.
How is this bill going to stop what's been going on? I mean, people can still do what they do, and how is it going to help?
Well, in California, it's against the law. There are some repercussions that people grab a situation. At least they have the traction to do something about it. Now, whether they do or not is debatable, but at least you have something to get hold of and say, hey, if you do this on this level, you have X repercussions coming at you, and that benefits a situation. Certainly in Hollywood, for instance, it's a huge deal. You know, the whole state of California, where it's now a law, but there are benefits. There are benefits to these islands, as there are in Hollywood, where, yes, you want everyone to participate. We're happy. We advertise these islands. You know, I spend my whole life, I have a business here, so I know how important it is to these islands. And people like Stephen coming here, this is all about spreading the word all over the world. And as with visitors that come here, that aren't, quote, famous, they need to have a great atmosphere to be in. So it's really important to have some line drawn that at least something can be done about it, that someone's going to be less inclined to do something like basically jump into your home with a lens that can be taken from a mile away. It's not acceptable.
Last question.
You know, it's a bit troubling when you go downtown with your family and you're being followed by a car with one driver in it shooting a camera and driving at the same time, and then turning around and, you know, messing with traffic. I mean, someone's going to get hurt again, you know, so it's just time for some ground rules.
Is this the legacy that you anticipated, the Steven Tyler Act of Hawaii?
Oh, there's so much more to come from this. And after this. I mean, you know, no, this is about, you know, look, I'm an exhibitionist. I'm the lead singer of Aerosmith. I love being that. There's times when you go on a vacation or you buy a house in paradise here where it's supposed to be paradise, and it needs to be respected.
Do you think that Hawaii should change for you, or change for celebrities, or change for public people? Why do you think that's okay?
That we're what? I'm sorry?
Why do you think the people in Hawaii should change for you? Why do you think that's okay?
I don't think people in Hawaii should change for us. I think photographers stalking you outside your house at a game preserve where it's illegal, and I can't call the cops and tell them to come because they've already taken the picture and they've already gone. And as they're leaving, they're giving you the finger. After a while, it just wears on you. You just want to be able to call the police and say, look, I got this guy's number. Could you please do something about it? Right now, it's not against the law.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.